sorry. I was just listening to Taylor Swift. You're too much. And especially being a little bit of like a brassy American broad. It was nice to see you. Your dad is gay. Was that a good impression? Okay, amazing. All right. I don't want to freak you out, but I think that I may be the voice of my generation, or at least a voice of a generation. This one's really hard to remember. I think Hannah says this in the pilot of Girls. I have accepted the fact that people don't fully understand that it was a joke and that it will follow me around until the day that I leave this mortal plane, and I'm okay with that.
I don't want to freak you out, but I think that I may be the voice of my generation.
My favorite memory from filming the pilot, I'm remembering the first scene, eating dinner with Peter Scolari, may he rest in peace, that amazing man, Becky Ann Baker, total icon, who played my parents. And I had always worked on such small crews, and where I was seated with all my pasta, I looked around and it was just this full crew in the quiet room. And I just thought, this is an incredible moment. And I just said to myself, remember this always. And I do. Don't make me feel stupid for loving things. This is a Meg Stalter original improvisation from Too Much.
Don't make me feel stupid for loving things.
From the minute I started working in the UK, I wanted to make something about an American in the UK. I feel like there is a unique kind of culture clash that happens when you speak the same language, but you also don't speak the same language. And especially being a little bit of like a brassy American broad, it's very easy to not get things quite right or to make social mistakes that you might not make at home. So I was thinking about the best way of doing that, and also my great love of a classic working title rom-com, and thought, can we mash these two together and create a different kind of rom-com story? And the idea of Too Much, I actually have to give all the credit to my husband and co-creator, Luis Felber. We were talking about titles, and he reminded me that when we first met, I would do something or say something, and he would say, in his accent, I won't try and imitate, "You're too much." And my response was always, "I'm so sorry, I'll walk it back. Real apologies here." And then he had to explain to me that actually one of the mistranslations that we have between America and the UK is that there, too much means great, fabulous, adorable, or as he said, just enough and a little bit more. Alrighty, what do we have here? These things have an expiration date, okay? 6 months or until someone stops having fun. Does Meg say this to Will in Too Much? Does this come from, did Hannah say this? Okay, I have to confess, I have never rewatched Girls since we finished. So I'm not due for a rewatch because that would be wild if I rewatched alone. Oh my God. Adam says it to Hannah. It must be Hannah. Okay, so it would be like this. These things have an expiration date, okay? 6 months or until someone stops having fun. Was that a good impression?
You're saying...
These things have an expiration date, okay? 6 months or until someone stops having fun.
The first time I met Adam Driver, and the character was already named Adam, that was just a lucky coincidence. He walked into our amazing casting director, Jennifer Houston's office. It was our first day of casting. We had read barely anyone. And he walked in, and it's the same thing he does in every room, on every screen. The energy in the room just changed. He is so committed. I'm sitting there sort of tentatively saying my lines, and he is just from how intensely he's reading, the room turns into some guy's shitty apartment. The room turns into a bed. He completely changes the space around him. And I remember in the audition, he really cheekily kind of leaned over and bit my shoulder. And there's this moment where I can't contain what I'm feeling as a director, and I look at everyone else and I'm like, look at him. So that was my first time meeting Adam, who became Adam. And I can't believe I missed this line, but I tried to read it with real commitment. Okay, let's see. This one's really meaningful to me. Sorry, I was just listening to Taylor Swift. This is from Too Much.
Sorry, I was just listening to Taylor Swift.
She's just an amazing person and a supportive friend, and letting us use her song in an important moment, Bigger Than the Whole Sky, was an absolute fantasy. I know that I am a Swiftie. I know that I have my own bias, but I sort of feel that every movie or show should have a Taylor Swift song in it. Alrighty. Guys, we're so disconnected. I thought this would just be a nice opportunity for us to have fun together and prove to everyone via Instagram that we could still have fun as a group. Marnie Michaels, Beach House.
Guys, we're so disconnected now. I thought this would just be a nice opportunity for us to have fun together and, prove to everyone via Instagram that we can still have fun as a group.
Well, this is a Hall of Famer girls episode for people who are on the girls set because we were shooting at a house. It's actually our producing director, Jesse Parrott's home. So I actually wrote the girls' pilot in this house. And so it was a very important space. And it was a place that we would all go socially. And we felt like, gosh, there has to be an episode that takes place here. But the weeks that we chose in the summer, there was torrential downpour. So what was supposed to be like 4 to 5 days in Long Island seemed to drag on into 15 to 16 days in Long Island. And then when the sun finally did come out, it was probably 55 degrees with whipping winds. And that was the only time we could go into the ocean in our bikinis. So we were trying to frolic and act like we were having fun while being just eviscerated. And I'm actually in a bikini that whole episode. And I remember Jesse very intelligently saying, don't try to act like you're like on the beach in Oahu. Act like it's really happening, which is everything. The whole trip is about Marnie's expectations being upended. She's prepared and you can't prepare for everything. So Allison was out there in like a nude wetsuit from the waist down screaming, come on in guys, the water is beautiful. And it's so much funnier than if the water really was beautiful. I thought I wanted the compliments. I don't know if I want any more. It's like, I want the affirmation, but also I'm like, yeah, I know. I've always actually felt really hot, except for when I haven't. This is said by Jessica Salmon in the television show Too Much in episode 3.
I thought I wanted the compliments. I don't know if I want any more. It's like I want the affirmation, but also I'm like, yeah, I know. I've always actually felt really hot, except for when I haven't.
This scene's really special to me because Meg, who's an incredible collaborator, we talked a lot about how we did not want the show to be about Jessica's body. Like, her body's not the reason that she is single. It's also not the reason that someone wants to be with her. We worked really hard to really nail the idea that every woman, every person is self-conscious in this society about the way that they look, and how can we have that conversation without making it be sizist, without making it be ableist, making it just feel like a true expression. Because one of the messages of the show is whether it's Meg who's stunning or Emily Ratajkowski who's stunning or Janixa Bravo who's stunning, every female character is asking themselves questions about their own desirability because patriarchy doesn't make it easy for anyone. These are kind of exciting. Okay. I just want someone who hangs out all the time, thinks I'm the best person in the world, and wants to have sex with only me. This one I know, and it's Hannah in episode 4 of the TV show Girls, when she has had really bad eyebrows drawn on by her work colleague, and then goes to Adam's house to talk. And the reason I am so clear on this is because I took that monologue from an email that I wrote to an uncommitted, we could say man, we can say boy, I was 23 at the time. And I wrote this email that was basically like, and I know you're not my boyfriend, I don't care if you're my boyfriend, you don't have to say you're my boyfriend, it's just here are the things I would want you to do, even if you weren't my boyfriend. And then I believe I said at the end, you don't have to answer this. And then he didn't. And then I called him and said, why didn't you answer it? And he said, because you told me not to answer it. And I feel so blessed that I am not I'm not going to say I don't behave that way anymore, but I'm not in a position to behave that way anymore.
I just want someone who wants to hang out all the time and thinks I'm the best person in the world and wants to have sex with only me.
It was nice to see you. Your dad is gay. That is Elijah, aka Andrew Rannells. Episode 3 of Girls.
It was nice to see you.
No.
Your dad is gay.
I saw Andrew in the opening night of the Book of Mormon, and I was like, that is the most incredible performer I have ever seen in my life. He came in to read for the role, and it had been written sort of like to be a little more kind of crunchy granola. And he was just coming in for one episode. That was it. It was like, Hannah sees her ex-boyfriend. Turns out he's gay. That was the joke. And Andrew came in and we started improvising and we had this crazy chemistry. And then he came, did the scene. We just put up 2 cameras and improv'd for ages. And then we just thought that guy has to come back. And that's the character you know and love. I just don't understand why nobody tells you how bad it's going to be in the real world. I wanted to give you a dramatic reading, but I have no idea who said it. I think it's from Girls, right? It's got to be from Girls, because I'm like, I don't think I've had a thought like that in a really long time, but I remember thinking it when I was younger. Who? Is it Marnie? Is it Jessa? Shoshana? I went all the way through.
I don't understand why nobody tells you how bad it's going to be in the real world.
Yeah, they do.
Season 4 is the season where she's just having a hard time. She's gone from chipper and always ready for it to realizing just how hard it is in the real world. That was Shoshana's like rode hard and put away wet season. Shoshana was having a hard time. What's the biggest lesson Girls taught me as a person and as a creative? I think that it has been a really interesting thing to now, the show, having finished the show, I think just realizing that when you make something, your job's just to put it into the world, and whatever the immediate response is not, it feels so big and all-consuming. Whether, like, this is for any artist, when you make something, there's silence, it's really painful. When you make something and people don't understand it, it's really painful. Sometimes you make something and everybody loves it, and you think that's how people are going to feel forever. And understanding that, like, your full job as an artist is to make it, put it in the world, and the response to it will change and grow and shift over time, and that part isn't about you. And I think that's been the interesting thing just about seeing the show cycle through the world, seeing the kinds of people who talk to me about it, the kinds of people who respond to it, that it's like always having its own life out there.